Okay, we're live. So welcome everybody to our Google Hangout on Air for GEG NorCal. GEG NorCal stands for Google Educator Group Northern California, and this is one of our events that we're hosting. It's a chance for us to reflect a little bit on this past year and all that googly goodness that we've experienced and talk a little bit about our plans for the future. So we have a few people here joining us today, some from Northern California, some from Southern California. And so I'm thrilled that you guys took the time. I know it's very busy. It's the holiday season. We all have one more week, I think, before winter break. So I know you're busy, but thanks for joining us today. My name is Ray Fearing. I am the Educational Technology Coordinator for Del Norte County Office of Education. We are up in extreme Northern California. A lot of people don't realize there's something above San Francisco. There is. There's Humboldt County. And a lot of people don't realize there's something above Humboldt County. And there is. It's Del Norte County, as we say up here. Other people say Del Norte. And well, we just dropped that E up here. And so I'm way up here on the north, right on the ocean. We're getting a lot of storms coming through, but it's beautiful in the winter. So I'm happy to be here. And I think we'll go around and let other people introduce themselves. Why don't we start with Rebecca?
Hi, I'm Rebecca Gerard, and I am just south of San Francisco on the peninsula in San Carlos. I teach at Notre Dame High School, and I really enjoy being a part of this group that loves to share lots of googly goodness, but also just lots of wonderful support, inspiration, and ideas. So I'm looking forward to hearing what everyone else is going to share this afternoon. And I'm glad to be a part of the group. So thanks for inviting me.
Thanks for joining us. How about Kristen?
Hi, I'm Kristen Beck, and I'm up in Auburn, California, which is up above Sacramento. So we're on the 80 side going up to Reno, and I'm in my second year of being a curriculum coordinator. And I was in the classroom for 23 years, and I did math, science, elementary, middle school, so I am interested in all of those things. And then another one of my passions is standard-based learning / grading. So, love Google. I'm a Google educator, and then hopefully a Google education trainer, and eventually a Google certified teacher is my goal.
Excellent. I forgot to mention I'm a Google certified teacher. And Rebecca, did you mention if you have any Google certifications?
I don't yet. I'm working on those. That's some of my personal learning goals for 2015. And I also forgot to say I teach high school science, and I am the EdTech instigator at our school. I work with professional development with our faculty and staff on EdTech, including our Google apps.
Excellent. And Alice?
Hi, I'm Alice Chen, calling in from Southern California. I teach 8th grade language arts, and I'm also released one period to be a technology coach. So I also help other teachers in my school, my district. My school's in the eastern edge of Los Angeles County. I am a Google certified teacher and also one of the PG SoCal leaders. So glad to be representing the southern part of California.
Thank you. And Alice, you are so awesome. I've gone to a couple of your presentations, and Alice came up here and presented to our educators, and she's awesome and amazing. So I can't wait to hear all your googly resolutions for this year.
Oh, thanks.
All right, let's jump into the questions. We shared some questions ahead of time with our panelists, and I invited one other person just as a heads up. So if Sherry Hardinger is able to come in, she may be joining us as well. I've sent her a couple of invites, so we're waiting for that. But let's start with question number 1. What's your biggest edu-win with Google Tools from 2014? So what's your biggest googly win for the year? And we'll start with Rebecca.
Oh, I get to go first again. Okay. I say it would be getting our Google apps fully deployed at our school and working with an elementary school on our campus that's separate from us, but also working with them, and they started Google Apps this fall as well. And we now have our 1+1 program. The students bring their own laptops, but we also use any devices they have, cell phones. We have school sets of iPads, and having Google makes everything easy to connect. It even helps with using iPads as shared devices. Being able to connect everything to Drive has been really helpful. So that was a huge win. Still working on lots of training because it never ends with Google. It just gets better and better, so you got to keep learning about it.
Absolutely, that's so true. Always something new to learn. Excellent. So, Kristen, what's your EduWin?
Probably we're just at the very infancy of implementing Google Apps for education, and so last year we worked with our curriculum steering committee and got them on, and so this year we have I just uploaded all of our district assessments up to our shared folder with the grade levels, and so we're storing things. The teachers are starting to log into their Google accounts, and then every Thursday I go to a different site and go to their computer lab after school and work with the teachers, and they come in and we play. And I do a little 10-minute gig, and then I let them play with whatever it is they want to try. And so we're just very infancy stages, but our science department is at the middle school is very near to getting a Chromebook cart lab for their use, and so I'll be working with them doing a lot of STEM and science and Chromebook integration in their labs. So we're starting, and every day a few more people join the group of educators using the tool, so it's exciting.
It is, and I think you'll notice, as more people learn about it, the more excited they get, the more people that join.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Alice, what's your EduWin with a Google tool?
Okay, well, last year I was the only teacher to have Chromebooks, one-to-one Chromebooks, and now we've expanded that program to 13 more carts throughout our school. We also were able to deploy Google Apps for Education last year, and we definitely have a lot more people on board. And I'm just so excited that our district has on Google Apps, and Chromebooks is one of our, tool of choice, and I see that across many different campuses. And students are teaching each other how to use it and showing other teachers how to use it. So really excited about the collaboration that we're all doing and how everyone's getting on board.
And Alice, before your district or your school went Google Apps, didn't you use Google Apps with your students, but you had them create their own accounts?
Right, I did. Luckily for me, my students were 13 and older, teaching 8th grade, and I had strongly encouraged them to create their own Google accounts, and some did. Many of them did, actually, but there were some who didn't. But it's funny because as we kept working, they started kind of pressuring each other. You really should open one so that we can collaborate. And so, after a few months, everyone had their own Google accounts, their own personal Google accounts. So that was a lot of fun to see how it caught on with everyone.
Absolutely, and I know when I was first starting to use Google with my students, we were not Google Apps for Ed, and I had students, I taught at the high school in science, and kids had Google accounts, and those that didn't created them, and that we were able to use all those amazing tools, and I knew it was going to work, and that we would probably go Google Apps as soon as other teachers started coming up to me and saying, okay, the students keep talking about docs. What are these Google Docs? How do I use them? Because they're telling me that's the way we need to do things. And it's from there that we became a Google Apps for Education district. So we have over 12 schools that are all Google Apps for Ed. And I think my biggest EduWin for 2014 with Google is one of those schools, Sunset High School, which is an alternative high school, at the end of last school year, so beginning of 2014, went one-to-one with Chromebooks. And that's really exciting. It's our first one-to-one school, and although they don't take them home, they stay at school, but when they come in the morning, they take their Chromebook, they use the same one all day, and it's just been transformative. Watching the kids, their work, being on task, engaged, and the best part for me as a professional development person is seeing the teachers learning come alive and seeing them try new things. We're right in the middle of a vocabulary activity several weeks long where they're using all these different Google tools to choose words, define words, and vote on words using Google Forms. It's just been awesome. So that's really exciting, is getting to play with one school that's one-to-one and try new things with the staff. It's a small school, I think about 5 teachers, less than 100 kids, but really gives us an opportunity to try it and to experiment with it and really get it right as we expand to other schools. So we're excited.
That's really exciting. That's nice to have that, kind of small testing group too that you can just really involve. And Alice brought up a great point, which is the students start teaching each other, and as you said, the students are the ones who start saying, hey teachers, I want you to be using these tools because they're so great. I think that empowering the students helps the teachers feel okay with making that type of change, with adding that technology into their class. I think that's been really helpful.
Yeah, I think
who does that? Who does that?
As when I was in the middle school and we didn't have Google Apps for Education, I had the kids, even though when they weren't 13, I had a permission slip that my admin let me send out to the parents, and it was either they set a Google account up with their parents overseeing them, or their parent gave me permission to set a Google account up, and it was sort of that same thing. That district is now completely Google Apps for Education, but 3 or 4 years ago when I was using them, and then the teachers, just the same thing as you, Alice, they came up and what are the kids doing? And so we kept getting more and more teachers and kids involved, so it's nice when that happens.
absolutely.
And another thing, I was really excited when we had to do district writing benchmarks that I got many teachers to do it online instead of on paper, and that was a big leap for them. Yeah, to be able to do an assessment online. Typically, it's in the past, a lot of teachers who do online assessments are all multiple choice, but we were able to do it all online and then share the file with different teachers so that they could be scored, and it was just such a great workflow to be able to do that.
Were they using Google Docs for writing or a Google form for some writing and some other type of answers?
We used 2 tools. First, we had them mind map on a Google slide, plan out their writing, and then they wrote it in Google Docs, and we issued them in Google Classroom, so they was all in one place, and they would turn them in at the end of the period so that we would have we would be the owners of those documents, and in that sense, protecting
my hot tea, because I left it over there.
Sorry about that. That's our IT guy going home.
Yeah, Alice, I think that once people try it for an assessment or try it for a project like that, they realize that I think sometimes you get really good quality from students, but teachers are surprised that it's easier to grade in some cases, or quicker to grade. I've had many comments that said, I didn't realize how much faster it would be to grade this way. Also, the quality of teacher feedback seems to increase because of the tools available to you to comment and provide specific feedback. So I think those are all benefits that once teachers try it, they notice that those things are pretty easy to do.
No?
The form of feedback that you can provide, being on a doc with students and watching them work and being able to comment as they work is awesome. I love that aspect of it.
Exactly. All right, let's move on to question 2, right? Yeah, we're on question 2. Do you have any personal learning goals for 2015? What's on your want to learn list? And this could be a Google tool or not, but what do you want to learn for the next year? And I don't want to start with Rebecca again because she started first. Let's start with Alice.
Okay, well, one thing I really want to get into is using green screen technology and playing with that. So I have not done it yet, but that is something I would like to try with my students next year. And as far as Google is concerned, we're going to venture into using more Google Maps, Google My Maps, and personalizing creating custom maps to reflect the literature that we are reading, and to just learn more about the setting of the literature that we're reading, and to add like multimedia to it, and for them to collaborate on a map together. I'm excited to start that project next month with them.
Great. All right, Kristen, you're up. What's your personal learning goal for 2015? What's on your want to learn list?
Well, I want to really look at employing the Google Apps tools that we've been talking about to help teachers change their grading practices. So that feedback that you were talking about, and how to, when they're watching an activity or going around and teaching, to actually track what the students are understanding or showing that they understand, rather than just checking off, are they doing the work or are they not doing the work. So because we're in a completion type system right now, where the teachers are grading on whether or not stuff is done, turned in, and not necessarily on if it is, if the students are showing proof of understanding. And so, and it's sort of a little, it's been a passion of mine when I was in the classroom, but now having a son that's in 3rd grade and seeing, you know, having the conversations with him and him explaining when he brings home a test that he hasn't done well on, but when I look at it, he's done, he understands the concept, but it's not, the level's not there, and so it's a mixture, and just changing that shift. And I know the Google tools, or that's the tool I want to use to help the teachers see how easy it can be to change that, and hopefully and this at the same time make the students more accountable and understanding what they do and do not know, rather than just ending with when they get a test back and that's the end of it. Make it the beginning of a conversation rather than the end, but using the Google tools to really try that. And then and doing more maps in Google Earth also, like Alice said. I like to do real-life math problem-solving activities, and so putting a maps component into that. And so that's, and then the science, I have to help the science department with their SEAM stuff, and so that'll be fun with their Chromebooks. So big things.
But all very doable. I think you'll do great with that, you know, and like you say, this stuff really, when teachers get a hold of it, they run with it. So good luck.
Thanks.
Rebecca, what's your personal learning goal? You've already mentioned it briefly, but there must be probably more to that.
Yeah, my hope is to get into the training modules again back on Google. I started this summer. I didn't finish. What was I on? It's either Gmail or Calendar. I was kind of doing both of them at the same time, and then I know that they've updated some of the things in Drive and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, I want to wait till all the updates are in, and then I want to get the certification for those. It's invaluable being someone who works with all the faculty on campus. I really need to know all of those tools well enough to give them tips and tricks and help them fall in love with Google. You know, I've already drunk the Kool-Aid and I love it. I love Google everything. But if I can give those couple tips or tricks that just blow their minds, they're like, oh, I totally want to learn more. It kind of hooks them. The kids are easier to hook that way. But you know, finding those things that teachers want: efficiency, better feedback, more robust, frequent feedback, exactly what Kristen's talking about, how to move to standards-based type of approach, students demonstrating learning. All those things can happen with Google, and once the teachers find that, it kind of just gets them to want to learn more. So it's a big goal, but it's one step at a time.
It is. It's hard because you really want to stay on top of all the changes and all the features, and they change all the time. But you know, what people have learned with me is I know what I can, and I'm always trying to learn more. And that's what I love about it, is I can look at a new teacher to Google, and they can teach me something. And I'm like, I didn't know that. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. And I think that makes people really feel good when you notice, you know, they know that everybody's not an expert, and we can all learn from each other no matter what level of Googler you are. Good stuff.
The only way to stay on top of it. It changes too fast for me.
All right, we had Sherry. You joined us. Thank you for coming in.
Hey, hi. Sorry I was late.
That's okay. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us where you work, and then I'll give you the question that we're on.
Okay. Well, I'm Sherry Hardinger, and I work in the Shawnee Mission School District in Kansas, and I'm an autism behavior specialist, and I'm also our technology person for our building, and we just started a tech initiative at the end of last year, and really into it, you know, greatly at the beginning of this year. So we went from PCs to complete Apple blanketing of our entire staff. and so it's been quite an ordeal.
That's a big shift.
Yes.
And are you guys Google Apps for Ed? Do you use Google?
Yes, and I'm in early childhood, so majority of it right now is with the staff and just training the staff on it. So the students really aren't using it. We're using it for storage of videos and trainings for other staff, lesson plans, things like that.
Excellent. So we're on question 2. Do you have any personal learning goals for 2015, and what's on your want to learn list?
For me, I really want to dig into Google Classroom and then just more thoroughly train the staff. Our district has their own servers to store things, and at one time we weren't going to go to Google Drive, but now we are. So I really want to train the staff and help them to understand how Google Drive works and how to share it. I've looked a little bit into Doctopus and Goobrick, and then just kind of a little bit outside of Google, but blogging, I want to do some more blogging and maybe get the staff to do some blogging.
That's awesome. And Google, even just for staff, using the Google tools saves so much time on our workflow as teachers and just our work that we have to do even before you use it with students. It's a huge benefit just for all the sharing features that are available. Well, thank you for joining us. Okay, let's go on to question 3. What are your plans to spread Googley cheer to others in your school, district, or county next year? So a little bit about, I think we've probably touched on a little bit of that, but do you have any plans to make that happen? I'll go ahead and start this one. 2 things. One we are doing, one we'd like to do. We are hosting a Q Rockstar in August. I'm so excited about that. And it won't focus solely on Google Apps, but there will be sessions in there related to that. And I think it's just a powerful professional development opportunity to support teachers. And it's awesome, and I can't wait. I've never been to one, so this one we're hosting will be the first one I'm attending also, and I cannot wait. Second, I would like to do this. This is one of my resolutions for the year, is to set up a Google Apps user group where we meet monthly. And people can come and know the regular date, regular time, where they can share ideas, ask questions, and just work together, brainstorm, and solve problems. There's so many people using Google Apps in different ways, and I think you can get in habit of using it a certain way, and when you hear from somebody else, they did something else with it, you're like, oh man, I never thought of that. So I want to set up a regular meeting time for people to get together and just share what they're doing, and I think that'll be real powerful in moving us forward. So that's my plan to spread Googly cheer. All right, let's go to Kristen. Why don't we start with you on this one?
Okay, so I'm doing my weekly meetings at each site. So I'm rotating from each site. So and then I send out a monthly letter so the teachers know where I'm going to be. So if they want to come and see me at a different site, they can do that. But then I want to do a monthly Google Apps for the people that are using it and sharing to build capacity, because we want to do a curriculum camp this summer and have the teachers be the presenters, and so sort of build that capacity within the district. And so that's starting with the staff, and then the middle school. We have 2 teachers at our middle school, 7th grade English language arts, that use Google Forms and Google Docs to do activities that are very SBAC-like, where the kids have to watch a video or listen to, well, they can't do a podcast, but they can watch a video and read different texts and do different things, and so have them start sharing their googly goodness that they're doing with others. But just start slow, 1 at a time, 2 at a time, and just let the teachers snowball it from there.
Excellent. Alice, what about you?
Okay, so a lot of things on the horizon. First of all, I do provide training at my site in my district, so definitely lots of different Google sessions and workshops that are going to be held. In addition to that, I'd like to point out a few really wonderful opportunities for people to get involved. So let me just really quickly share and do a little plug for a few things. Yay! So at the annual Q conference coming up, I will be presenting at the Google Certified Teachers panel. We have 9 really great presenters on the agenda, so hopefully you will make that one of the sessions that you will attend at Q. And I'm also presenting at a Q Rockstar Jam session at Q, and that will include the tool YouTube editor, and it's called Move Over Hollywood, and it's about using video tools in the classroom. So that is a kind of a preview of what a Q Rockstar is going to look like, and we will cap it at 30 people, and it is a paid session, and let's see, I forgot if it was 25 or 30 now, so unfortunately I got on the top of my head which one it is. But check it out. And another event immediately following the Q conference is the Q West Coast Summit, and that takes place on Saturday and Sunday, right after the Q conference, and it will be all about Google, and so I'm on the task force for that, and hoping that people will want to come, and it's going to be a great event. The presenters will be all Google certified teachers and Google education trainers, so we got lots of great Google experts at this event. Please make sure you sign up. It sold out last year, so make sure you grab your spot. And I'm also going to put a plug in for Q Rockstar Teacher Camp. I'm running Manhattan Beach in Southern California. So at the end of summer, it will be one of the last camps of the summer. I think, Ray, are you running one of the first camps of the summer?
No, ours is at the end also, August, around 12th or so.
Oh, then you're the one finishing it up. Okay, then ours comes the week before yours. And there will be a day dedicated to Google out of the 3 days. It's 3 days of hands-on learning, small attendee to presenter ratio. So definitely come check it out. And also, lastly, want to also point out, that as the GEG SoCal leader, we have a few events coming up next year. So if you are part of this community, please keep an eye out. We have a coffee meetup coming up in February. We also have a few meetups before a few of the Southern California summits as well. So keep your eye on this community, and I hope to see you at one of these events, or better yet, all of these events.
Well, I will definitely be at Q in Palm Springs in March, and then our Q Rockstar, and I'm going to try to stay for the Google Summit at the end of that. I don't know about that yet, but I'm hoping to stay that extra day. I actually was filling out the form to present at the summit. I don't know when that deadline is, but I had it open this weekend, so I'm hoping to finish that and submit something.
Yes, please do. Deadline will be early January. Right now we're looking at January the 4th. So trying to give you winter break to finish that up, so we'd love to see your submission, Ray.
Perfect. Who else is going to Q? Is anybody going?
Yeah.
Yay,
I'll be presenting a few presentations, so definitely love annual Q. Mind-blowing information. I always get so excited and inspired and tired.
Yeah, and all my Twitter celebrities are there, and I get to go be a groupie and hang out around all the cool people. So I love going to Q.
Yeah.
All right, next, let's see here. I think we're going to Kristen for number 3, right? What's your plan?
No, I did mine before Alice.
That's right, Kristen, Alice now. Sherry.
Oh, sure, make me follow Alice. Okay, I don't have quite as many things, but some of the things that I was just jotting down, I want to share some new ways to use YouTube with the staff. We have a lot of new staff every year, teachers that come in, and one of the things I've been doing right now is to go in and videotape veteran teachers and just videotape how they do their daily routines, what kind of techniques and strategies they use, And then I've tried to make playlists on YouTube, and then I share those with the new teachers. So then they can't really leave their classrooms during the day to go observe these veteran teachers, so then they can watch them kind of, when it's more convenient for them to watch those videos, but really get some good information from the veteran teachers. And then I'd also like to look at some different ways with the staff that we could use Google Hangouts. So I'm thinking of reinforcers for our students. They could see their parents. If they accomplish some sort of a goal or something, they could say hello to their parents on Google Hangouts. A parent that couldn't physically be there could maybe read a story that day to the class, or anything that they want to share with the class and wouldn't have to physically be there. So those are just a couple things I thought of.
Those are great ideas, and I know we've been using video in a similar way. We're a professional learning community district, and our PLCs have developed Google Plus communities. So there's a kindergarten one, I think a fourth grade one. They're doing them on their own, so we don't have them for every grade level. It's just as they want to create them. And our kindergarten teachers wanted to videotape each other teaching because it is hard to get out and go see each other. But they were nervous about it being public or on YouTube. Even if it wasn't public, just being on YouTube was a little scary. So we've been uploading that video to Google Drive and then sharing it, or sometimes YouTube, and sharing it in their Google Plus community. So it's only shared with a very small group, and that seemed to lower the worry about it being out there for everybody to see it. But they have been doing an awesome job recording each other and sharing that in their small groups and getting comfortable with that before they take it, I think, a little broader.
Yeah, I agree, Ray. There was some discomfort in our district as well about sharing it on YouTube, and I tried to learn the features as well as I could. And so I think the one, is it unlisted, is the middle choice. There's public, unlisted, and private. And so it probably would be a lot safer just to save it on Drive so that it was shared that way.
Yeah, I mean, either way, just as long as they know how it's being shared, so they feel a little more comfortable that it's not just. Not that there's anything to hide, but people get nervous.
Right, they do, and I know, all of our students, if we have them on YouTube, they do have photo releases. Right. But again, it's just a little scary to have that link out there, and you never know how people are going to use it.
Yep. Good, excellent. And then I think we're down to Rebecca. Yes.
Yeah. All right. 2015. It sounds like it's going to be an awesome year for everybody. Lots to do. I want to start off the year. I'm going to the Napa Summit, the Google Napa Summit, and I'll be presenting there. I believe it's sold out, but you could check online. And I'll be presenting about Google Draw and infographics that I do with my students to demonstrate learning in a different way. That'll be really fun. And then we have a group of students that are part of our tech committee at school, our tech liaisons, and our goal this coming semester is to start creating some kind of website to host tutorials and trainings that the students will be in charge of making, mostly focused on Google Apps to start with. Then that would be trainings that would be helpful to students, parents, and faculty and staff. So that's a big commitment that we're working on and at least going to start. And then we're hosting an EdCamp Express at Notre Dame. Anyone who's in near San Francisco area, EdCamp Express is going to be a shortened version of EdCamp with no raffle, no thrills, anything like that, but just a real quick couple sessions on May 16th, I think, Saturday, May 16th. And then hopefully be able to host EdCamp SFA. Again, that was great. We hosted that last year. And then I got some great ideas from everyone who just shared. So, the meetups once a month and a newsletter. And I definitely like the idea of Hangouts, of finding ways for parents to come into the classroom with Hangouts. I have high school students, and high school students' parents I'll say, oh, my daughter doesn't want me there. I teach all girls. My daughter doesn't want me there. I can't get there. I'm working, all that kind of stuff. But how great would that be to invite them in through a Hangout and just, even have a sign-up for, like, a certain number of parents for a certain activity. You could sign up that day, and they could sign up for something else. But wouldn't that be a blast? I'd love to, like, hang out with my kid when they're at school, and I can't physically be there. So that was a great idea, Sherry. Thanks for sharing that. It just got me thinking.
Yeah.
Lots of creative ways to involve the parents, I think, are great.
Yeah.
You're going to be busy, Rebecca.
There's lots to do.
Lots to do. Talking about using Google Hangouts, I have something I really want to try to do this spring. I'm not sure when Dr. Seuss Day is. Is anybody? I'm not an elementary teacher.
I can't remember.
Yeah, but I'm hoping that this spring sometime, maybe for that day or for something. I haven't told my superintendent yet, so nobody tell my superintendent. But I'm wanting him to read a Dr. Seuss book to our classrooms that day. So I want to do a Google Hangout on air, have him do a read aloud, and let all the classrooms that want to join in and watch it live, and maybe take some questions and do some interactive stuff as well. But I'm hoping to put that together. I think that would be totally cool, and I think our soup would be up for that. So I'm going to ask him to do that.
That's fine.
So many things to try. Okay.
Alrighty.
Question number 4. Share one of your Google tips, your favorite Google tips. And this doesn't have to be a big tip. Something short and little is great. So let's hear a little bit about your favorite Google tips. Let's start with, who wants to start? How about, oh gosh, we'll just start with Rebecca again.
Well, one of my favorite tips that I show people, because it saves my life many a morning, is how to turn your calendar into a daily morning agenda email that gets emailed to you. I have mine set at 5 a.m. and you can choose which calendars you want to send to you, and it shows up in your email box first thing in the morning. I can read through what's happening that day because I've got way too many calendars between home and work and conferences and all those things, and just having that reminder in the morning all in one place is a great way for me to kind of focus on the day. So I love showing people that one. And my students, it's super helpful for my students. The ones who've actually tried it are like, oh my gosh, it's great. Now I remember what I'm supposed to do in which class and when it's going to be doing that day, because we have a rotating schedule that can be kind of confusing. And this way, it just kind of calms them down and focuses them on what's going on that day. So that's a fave.
Good tip. Cool. Kristen, what's your favorite Google tip?
I think one of mine is when I'm not on my Chromebook, which I am now, sorry, is the on Google Chrome, you can have add users. So instead of having, I can, and you have the little icons up in the left-hand side, and then you can just hit them, and then your account comes up. And so I have my GAFE account through my school district, so all my Chrome settings and extensions are aligned to that account. And then I have a Teach Tech Beck, which is my professional education account, and it has different, so I can, instead of having to log out and log back on.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we lost her.
From Chrome, make thing that I.
Uh-oh, we're losing you, Kristen. Okay.
She'll be back. Users is awesome. And I have to say, for any parent out there, you can create a user for your student. My daughter has one.
Lose my.
And I can log in and out of her account and manage her stuff. Because my has her. So users is awesome, Kristen. That's a great one to share.
Sorry, Kristen, you were breaking up, so Rebecca filled in for you and did that. All
yeah,
right,
everyone should try out users. Google Chrome.
Alice, what's your Google tip that's a favorite?
Should I lose you guys?
So currently, we are using Google Classroom. And one thing that I notice a lot of people say is, I can't issue documents collaboratively the way you can with Doctopus. And so what I do in my classroom is my students actually sit in teams of 4, and I usually have about 9 teams in every class. And they choose a team captain for their team. And the team captain is responsible for going to Google Classroom to retrieve the file for the entire group. So you issue it to everyone, but only the team captain goes and retrieves the file and then invites everyone else into the file. And then they rename the file, and then they put their team number in front of the title so that it will populate to the top of your list. So when you are grading, you can just click on the first 8 or 9 files at the very top of your Google Classroom folder. So let me just show you really quickly. I took a quick screenshot. And so when it's issued to everybody, and these are all their names on the side. And as you know, when it shows up in your folder, it is listed by first name and then last name. So they rename So what they would do is just, let's see, what did I do with that? Okay, hold on. I have too many windows open. I want to kind of point to it. Okay, so I don't know if is my cursor showing up?
Yeah.
Okay. So you would rename the file, but putting the number in the front so that it will populate in order. And then you don't need to look at the rest of the files, because if you're doing teamwork, then those are the 9 or however many you're looking at. And sometimes if you want to do a quick check and see if they're on target, you can just simply select the file and then go to that preview button, that little icon with the eye, and then it will flip through for you, preview for you the different files. So you don't have to click and open every single one if you're just doing a very quick check. So that's how I handle using doing group work in Google Classroom.
Great idea with the numbering. I like that.
Alice, what was that extension you were using? Did it say awesome screenshot?
Yes, that's what it was.
I gotta get that.
Yeah, it's a great extension. I love it.
So easy to use too. You worry that it's going to be difficult, but I've tried it with new teachers and it's easy to figure out. So
And you can save it right to your Google Drive, so it's very helpful in that sense. And you can annotate, as you can see.
all right, so I'll take the next one. One of my favorite Google tips. It's a really easy one, but something I share with new teachers all the time. And I'm going to screen share here real quick too. So what I do is, this is our questions for today that I shared with everybody. But what I tell people is that when you are going to create docs and share them in a classroom, and not everybody's on Google Classroom yet, although we have more and more teachers using it, but anytime you're going to share anything, you can share it with a group. And so I encourage people to create groups in their contacts or use district level groups. And so if I wanted to share this with all principals, I could type in all principals, which is one of our groups that we have, and that will share it with everybody in that group at once. So much quicker to share. I showed that to a teacher the other day and said, make a group for your students. You only have to make the group once, and then you can share it every time with that group, and it goes to everyone. So something quick and easy. If you're not on Google Classroom, it's a great way to get things done a little bit quicker and save yourself a step. So I like that tip. All right, Sherry, what about you?
First of all, I want to apologize for making you walk around in my house with me. My dog, who is a 5-pound Chihuahua, rules the house, so he had to go outside and then have his treat. So sorry about that. Let's see. This is really minor, but when I learned about it, I was like, oh my gosh, that is just incredible. So when you make a form, and then when someone actually submits the form, you can have it email you that they have submitted the form. So you don't have to keep checking back on your spreadsheet to see. It automatically tells you that someone has filled it out. So I love that little feature.
Yes, isn't that under Tools, Notification Rules?
Yeah, I was like, we have, we try to get peer models in with our students with special needs, and so we sent out a link for them to fill out a form, and so now every time somebody fills one out, then we get it emailed to us, and we know to contact them and give them more information.
That is a great one, very handy. Okay, I think we went through everybody on our Google tips. Our last question for today then, if you could introduce one new tool or feature next year for Google, what would you want it to be? So what new Google tool or Google feature are you chomping at the bit for? And let's start with Kristen.
I think I would love to be able to put a podcast into a Google form so that kids could listen to, so that they can watch a video now, they can read an article, but you can only do a link to a podcast rather than putting the podcast into it, and that's something that my middle school teachers and I would love that feature. So that's just a little thing.
Let's hope the Googlers are listening.
That'd be great.
Alice, what's a Google feature or tool you're looking for?
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that because I would love to also have an ability to record audio through Google Drive. So for my students to create audio files directly through Google Drive the way you would, like when you click on create a new doc, create a new form, and also to be able for them to maybe separate YouTube editor from YouTube, because YouTube is blocked in certain schools and we just can't go to that website. And if we can have YouTube editor point to a different kind of domain name, or just go to Google Drive and click, create, not YouTube, a video editor or something, instead of using third-party apps. I would love to see that as a native app. So anything audio or visual as a native app to Google Drive, I would love that.
Agreed. Sherry, what's your Google wish?
Well, this is pretty minor, and I know there's probably a little bit of a workaround, but just when I'm making folders and I'm trying to organize my folders, like for example, I have a main one just for our building, and then within that folder I have like maybe different teachers for their teams, and so when I make the main folder, I've shared it with the entire building, and when I make a new folder for, within that, it automatically has the same share. And I wish somehow it would pop up and ask you, do you want the same share features or do you want different ones? And maybe you could do that, and I just don't know how. But what I've done is just created the folders outside of the main one and give them their share properties, and then I've moved it to that folder. So just, I guess, reducing a step is all it's doing.
Yeah, I know that when I put things in a folder that already has sharing permissions, it gives them those permissions, but then sometimes I have to click it and adjust that. So yeah, something that maybe that prompts you for that would be good too.
Yeah, and I have, like, we have 90 staff members, so I have to literally unclick, like 85 if I put it in and then undo it. So
yeah, that's time consuming. Rebecca, we're at you, aren't we?
I think so.
Yes.
I think so. And again, I'm like dreaming maybe these things exist and I just don't know yet because I'm still learning. But I've fallen in love with Google Draw and with my students creating infographics and pictures to demonstrate their understanding of concepts. And I would love to have more features within Google Draw that allows them to animate what they're drawing. And right now we can take individual drawings and put them into a presentation and make slides of their drawings. But to be able to have almost like page within one drawing. And I don't know if you can do that now, and I just don't know it. But that would be really cool because they love making things move. They're really fun. So a little bit more like Google Draw being a little bit more robust. I think that will come as people start using it more.
I think Google Draw is one of the underused apps. People don't realize what it can do and what you can do with it. I definitely think it already is real usable, but I agree a few new features would be awesome. The one Google tool or feature I'd like to see is more control over YouTube in our Google Apps for Education dashboard. So I'm a Google Apps admin and help to manage our Google Apps domain, and we have fought with YouTube, signed up for YouTube for schools, and it was still very hard to get teacher playlists approved and get videos on those playlists, and just hasn't been real user-friendly or real effective as a way to curate YouTube videos for our students. And we have YouTube open for teachers but closed for students, and we have teachers that are flipping. And so when they create videos and put them on their YouTube channel, the students can't watch them. So we're working around that and putting them in Drive or trying different things, but I need an easy way to create playlists that we can get approved, or channels, so that anything the teacher puts on their channel or playlist is readily available for students. And so I'd love to see and I've heard I've just heard a rumor that there might be something new coming from YouTube, or some new version of YouTube for schools, or YouTube in general. I'm not sure, but I'm looking forward to some changes to that, hopefully, that benefit schools.
Yeah, I'd love to have a choice for my students. Have websites and they embed their videos, YouTube videos, and I'd love to have it at the end of the video not show all those random tiles where they can click on other videos, because it's not necessarily my students' videos, it's all sorts of videos. Again, maybe there's a way to choose when the video ends what shows, but it just shows all sorts of random things, and these are their personal websites, and
And
I don't know.
I haven't tried embedding it on sites, but I know that you can go to a couple different sites that will strip all those recommended or related videos away and just show you the one video you have selected. But I haven't embedded that onto a site, so I don't know if that works. But and I'm forgetting the names of those two sites I've used. Alice, do you know the names of those? Safe.
Is it clearly? There's something on Chrome too that's an extension you can turn on clearly, or something else where it just shows the video and not all the extra stuff. But I haven't figured out if you can embed it that way.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's going to be it's great for teachers to strip all the extra away and just show the video in class, but I don't know about embedding it on a site.
Yeah.
All right, well, we are running towards the end of our hangout here, and so I want to thank everyone that has participated today. It was great having you. Again, I really appreciate you taking the time out to be here today. And I want to share one last thing before we sign off. Since Alice brought it to my attention that I should be sharing this stuff, I want to go ahead and share our Google Educator group for Northern California. And we're kind of Sacramento North. And if you are in Sacramento area or north, anywhere in California, or anywhere, we'll take anybody, we'd love to have you become a member of our GEG NorCal on Google+. And since we are so distant from each other, we're quite a span and distance between everybody in Northern California, but we do a lot online. We try to coordinate events. We did a meetup at Fall Q, and I'm hoping maybe we'll even do a meetup at Annual Q in March. And we do things like these hangouts. So if you're interested in learning more and talking with other Googly folks, join our NorCal GEG. We'd love to have you there. Okay. Well, thank you guys. Any final comments from anyone?
Just thank you, Ray, for setting this up. This has been really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I got some great ideas. My mind is going for next semester.
All right, and this will be posted on YouTube, and I also posted in our GEG NorCal community and on the event page also for this event. So it's available if you want to refer anybody to it or tweet about it or share it. Feel free to do so. So thanks, you guys, and have a great couple weeks off, and we'll see you in the new year.
All right. Bye, Ray.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.